Thank you, Brother Wilson. And also, again, I say very good morning to you all. And today is a special day for all of you. Every Sunday, I make you a special day at BS, no? So, BS or BF? BF. Yeah, yes. So, actually, this is my third appearance here, my third talk. And Buddha came to Sri Lanka only 3 times. After that, he never came. And then, yes, I also would be like that. Yeah, I think 3 talks more than enough. Yeah, because you listen to various speakers and, both lay and, monastics. And you have been practicing Dhamma here for many years. And the Dhamma that you know, I think is enough if you put it into practice. Right? Yes, because you have learned various things related to various topics. So the most important thing is to practice the Dhamma. Yes? The Buddha mentioned that, that is also from the Dhammapada. You may listen to various, teachings, the thousands of talks, the words, and you may recite thousands of words, stanzas, but if you do not practice them, at least one word in your everyday life, in your daily life, and then it is useless. It's useless. So you may listen very little, but if you put it into practice, that is more than, much, much, much better than, listening to so much teachings or whatever, and also reading a lot of sutras and so on. So little practice, at least a little practice, is considered as a very important thing in Buddhism. Right? So try to practice the Dhamma that we learn. Otherwise, it will be like a library which is not being used. There will be so many books nicely arranged under the various categories. But nobody read, right? In the same way, your knowledge would be like unused or untouched library, because no use of it. All right? So, important thing is look into the Dhamma and then check the meaning of all those teachings that you know and that you have, listened, that you have read. And then think about the importance of these practices. Yes. So, today, just before we start the talk and we had this meditation session, this is a very important thing for all of you in order to, concentrate before, listening to the Dhamma. So with that special training, we can, practice or listen to the Dhamma very attentively. So that is a very important thing. Practice actually makes us perfect, right? So try to practice the Dhamma very often, and it will be very, very useful and beneficial for all of you. So as I heard from Brother Wilson, actually you are listening to Dhamma talk for several months. Based on the Dhammapada. And Dhammapada is a very important text in the Buddhist Tipitaka, not only in the Theravada tradition, in the other Buddhist schools also, especially in the sectarian Buddhism. In India, after 100 years of the passing away of the Buddha, venerable monks, the main body of the Sangha divided into various sects, we call sects, schools, including Theravada tradition. According to, our historical records, or Theravada historical records, there are 18 Buddhist schools. In most of the Buddhist schools, actually, the Dhammapada was considered as a special text, right? So in the Theravada tradition, Dhammapada gets a very special place. Actually, in Sri Lanka, we say that Dhammapada is the handbook. It's the handbook of all Buddhists. So each and every Buddhist should learn Dhammapada, should read Dhammapada, and then try to understand the meanings of Dhammapada verses. If you study only the Dhammapada, that alone is enough for Buddhists to, know the teachings of the Buddha and also put it into practice. Because this Dhammapada, this text, I think you have already listened to Bhante Sumana, as I heard, and he may have explained about the text. But I just give a very short introduction to it. So Dhammapada is a work which consists of various teachings from the Buddha, spread throughout the Pali canon, especially Sutta Pitaka. Yeah? We have a basic four texts. Yeah? Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, and Anguttara Nikaya. These four are considered as the four major sects. And also in the, Chinese tradition, we call it the Sarvastivada Buddhism. There are four sections in the Sutta Pitaka. We call my Chinese pronunciation would be not accurate. So it called the Chang Ahan, the Lone Discourses. Chang Ahan Jin, Lone Discourses. And then the Chong Ahan Jin, the Middle Length Discourses. And then Sang Ahan Jin, the Connected Discourses, or we call it Kindred Saints. And next one is Sen Yi. Then Sen Yi Jing. Sen Yi Ahan Jing. Yeah. That is the Ekottaragama, or in Pali we call Anguttara Nikaya. So these four sections in the Sutta Pitaka are very, very ancient, and these four sections can be seen in the most of the early Buddhist schools. And then there is one collection which is called the miscellaneous collection, or we call it the Khuddaka Nikaya, or the smaller collection. In this smaller collections, actually there are 15 books. 15 books. Yeah, very famous book, the Jataka stories. Jataka book, the book of Jatakas. That one also comes under this. And also another one is Dhammapada. And there are so many other texts, like Buddha Vansa, the Chronicles of the Buddha. And, there are so many other texts like Charya Pitaka. It talks about the various stories and about the Buddha's past lives, and so many, the texts are there coming under this, especially the Sutta Nipata is one of the very important texts there. It contains very ancient teachings of the Buddha, including the Ratana Sutta. We always recite that one. Yeah. So in this way, in this Khuddaka Nikaya, it's not our topic today, otherwise I can give more details about this. So it contains 15 texts, and Dhammapada is one of them. So Dhammapada considered as a very important text for all of us to learn. And in the Dhammapada, There are, 26 sections are there. And these sections we call Vagga. Vagga means the section in English, Vaggas. So these Vaggas, they have been categorized, based on the teachings. And to which teaching certain Vagga or the section is related to, in this way. For instance, the first Vagga in the Dhammapada, first chapter or the section of the Dhammapada is named as in Pali Yamaka Vagga, right? Yamaka Vagga. Yamaka means in Pali the twins. Yeah? Two things together. For instance, if Buddha talks about something about good related to, our practice or whatever. And then at the same time, its opposite side is there. Yeah? For instance, in the very first two stanzas, Buddha talk about the, our mind. Yeah? Mind is the forerunner, mind is the most important thing, and whatever thing that we do with a bad mind, a bad karma will follow you. And also on the other side, they say that mind is the most important thing. It is the forerunner. Yeah, all actions. Yeah, if anyone is doing something good with the good thoughts or good mind, and then the good result will follow you. Something like that. So it's called Yamakvagga. And then the second section is called Appamada Vagga. So whatever teachings are there related to the heedfulness, energy, actually the mental energy, and awareness of people, or mindfulness. So these teachings were categorized under this Appamada Vagga, or heedfulness, under the heedfulness, the section of heedfulness, right? So there are so many other things, and if a lot of things are considered about the mind, status of mind, good status or bad status, or the nature of mind, characteristics of mind, and all these things, and they are coming under the Chitta Vagga, or the section of the on the mind, like that. So this section, the section in which my topic or this stanza is can be found, is found there in the Appamada Vagga, right? Heedfulness. And if you refer to this Appamada Vagga, you may find it over there as the stanza number 4. Yeah? Stanza number 4. So this is a very important stanza which gives very, good lessons for all of us as Buddhists. Right? Who are called Buddhists? Yeah, this is a very important thing. Buddhists are the people with wisdom. Now, the original meaning of Buddhist is wisdom, right? So actually we develop our wisdom towards its highest level. That is why we are called Buddhist, without having any support of anyone. And only the guide we can get from the teachers. But the whole practice is completely based on yourself. So you develop your wisdom up to the highest level. And then you may attain arahantship or Buddhahood or silent Buddhahood. It depend on your practice. So Buddhist means the wise ones. You all are wise people. So, this if we are wise, and then in which way that we have to know and we have to learn and we have to practice. Because it is completely based on your own spiritual cultivation. And it is completely based on your effort and your good conduct. Right? So there are lots of teachings here in the Dhammapada which gives you advice or give good teachings. So this special stanza, I will recite it in the Pali. It goes like this. Uttanavato satimato suchikammassa nisammakarino sanyatassacha dhammajibino appamattassa yasobhivaddati. Right? Uttanavato satimato suchikammassa nisammakarino sanyatassacha dhammajibino appamattassa yasobhivaddati. So this stanza explains that how the life of a heedful person will be successful if he is following these special qualities, right, mentioned there. The first quality which is explaining here is energy. Energy. Uttanavato. And then actually the last the last line explained that appamattasa yasobi vaddati. The one who is heedful and his fame increases. But this line we take into the beginning when you explain in the English language. Right? Otherwise it is not easy to give the meaning. So I will put it in this way. Whosoever is energetic. Yeah? Whosoever is energetic, or the person who is energetic. And mindful. Right? Whosoever is energetic, mindful, satimato, uttanoto satimato, suchikammassa, in pure conduct or in good conduct, right? Whosoever is in good conduct. And nisammakarino, who is discerning, look into things with attentiveness or look into things with awareness, right? Or look into things in a wise way. And next one, Suchikammasa nisammakarino, sanyatassacha, the one who becomes well restrained or having restrained senses, the trained senses. Sanyatassacha, dhammajivino, whose life is, based on the rightful way or the rightful actions, or we simply call that the one who is earning in rightful way. Earning is very important for all of us. Having one who earns in rightful way. And then the appamattassa, and he is heedful. And then yasobi vaddati. Yaso in Pali is fame. Vaddati means increases. But here it's a yaso abhivaddati. Yaso bhivaddati. This is very nicely specified with this term abhi. It's a prefix here according to Pali language. Abhi means very well, in a proper way. and steadily, or in a nice way, in a beautiful way, and you can have a lot of meaning for that. You know, Abhidhamma, Dhamma means the teachings of the Buddha. When you say Abhidhamma, it is something extra, or deep, or profound. And so Abhidhamma means the profound teaching, the deep teaching, and something extra. Dhamma plus something extra. So that is called Abhidhamma. So Abhi has various meanings here, right? So here, Abhi mean actually it properly, nicely, or steadily. Vardhati mean increases. What? Fame of this person, or the reputation of this person, right? And everyone would say that he is a good person, and he is a nice person, he is an exemplary character, and he is a good brother, he is a good son or good sister or a good mother, or we can use in many ways, considering one's character. And then everyone would praise him or her if anybody, behaves in a nice way. So this teaching here is extremely important, since it, covers various aspects in our life and the various things. And it talks about, various good qualities which are essential for our lives, right? So this Dhammapada really is a very useful teaching, and actually the another meaning of this Dhammapada, Dhamma mean the teachings of the Pada mean the word. Yeah? The various words are here, Dhammapada. So these, I just when I say Dhammapada, it's not always referring to the book, understand? Yeah, referring to these terms, all right? Yeah, Dhammapada, these Dhamma teachings or the Dhamma words. So here, all these Dhamma words are extremely important if you think about the deep meaning of these terms, and also if you think about the relations to our life, right, of these terms. So the first word here is talking about the energy or energetic status, or being energy, and how we have to, do our work, and how we have to, maintain our life, or how we have to, have this good behavior for our life, being a very energetic person. It is not only connected with your spiritual practice, not only connected with your spiritual practice, and even in our everyday life, energy is a very important thing. When you refer to the Metta Sutta, we always recite Karaniya Metta Sutta, no? The first word, the first quality of actually the Karaniya Metta Sutta explains about the 14 qualities of a Buddhist. The first quality explains over there is Sakko. When you recite it, Karaniya Metta Kusalena Yantan Santam Padang Abhisamecca. Sakko. The one who is expecting to attain enlightenment. Yeah? One who is want to, make his life meaningful, attaining enlightenment. Right? The first thing that he or she has to practice is Sakko. Being a very, skillful person. Skillful person. So all Buddhists must be very, very skillful. Understand? That is the Dhamma explained there as the first quality of a person to practice. So you have to be very skillful person in your everyday life and also on your spiritual paths. So that is another thing here. And then in this stanza also it explains you have to be very energetic person. Yeah? And a very active person. Active in your everyday life and also active on your spiritual paths or in your spiritual cultivation. So without this energy, we cannot do anything properly. Yes? And if no energy, it does not provide us, the force that you want to have. Without having that force, you may not able to do anything. Right? And physically you have to be very energetic, and mentally also you have to be very energetic. If you refer to this energy, and there are so many other teachings connected there, what kind of energy is there? Yes? Yes. In the, 37 factors of enlightenment, there are 5 energies mentioned there. Yes? Energies. And we have to, have this energy in order to make your life very, the energetic. Also, not having this sleepiness or the drowsiness. Yeah? And so many things are connected with this teaching. Yeah? Because Buddha has taught this Dhamma in different places in different way. Not only using only a certain word and every time, not like that. In various ways he used this term in many places. Right? And then without having energy, one may not able to go to success in his life. Especially there must be the balance between mental energy and physical energy. Yes? And then both will go together, and then you may, able to go to your, the goals, and you will be there where that you want to go. Right? So, if we apply this to our everyday life, actually there are, so many ways that we can, apply this in order to be successful in our everyday life. So I don't want to go to details regarding this. For instance, if you are doing a certain job, if you are not energetic, physically or mentally, and then, you may not able to, perform that duty or that action or whatever, even as a leader or whoever. You have to be very, very, very energetic as a leader. And then, otherwise others may not follow you. Right? So you have to come every day and sit here. And then the other members will follow you. Yeah? And so this energy is extremely important for all of us. Sometimes you may think that only the physical energy is enough, but mental energy is extremely important. Extremely. If you have Tina Midda, and the what we call this, we have this drowsiness within us, and our laziness within us. And then, yes, of course, we will be away from, all the, this success, and you may not able to, reach your goals. And then in many other places, Buddha explained that, this energy is like a, accomplishment for you. Accomplishment. Buddha taught that there are 8 types of accomplishment for human being to go to success in their life. 4 accomplishments in order to make this life meaningful, and 4 another accomplishments in order to make the next life meaningful. Actually, the first quality mentioned there is Utthana Sampada. Yeah? Effort or the energy. It is the accomplishment of energy or accomplishment of effort. And if this one is not there as a basic practice, and then cannot attain the enlightenment even. You know that while Buddha was practicing, and various others said that, no, you may not ever, attain the enlightenment. And it is not an easy thing for you to do. And, many people discourage him. Even the 5 friends of the Buddha, 5 ascetics, they left the Buddha. And they thought that he would never become an enlightened person. And then they left. So, because of that, we have to, develop this energy as a very important quality within us. Then the Buddha, he practiced this energy, and he had the strong determination, and then he worked for that, and finally he attained the enlightenment. Right? And so there are so many things connected with this, but it's not the time to explain each and every, the Dhamma in details. The second quality here, Satimato, the mindfulness, right? To be mindful is a very important thing. And if we are not being mindful, and we don't know where we are, what we are doing, and who we are, and so on. Especially, the Buddha mentioned that we have to be mindful in every moment, even in our everyday life. Right? For instance, gate tite nisinne sutte. Yeah? While we are standing, while we are walking, or while we are sitting, while we are standing, or while we are lying down or sleeping. Yeah? So every time we have to be mindful. Without this mindfulness, and we cannot, know what to do and what we should not do. So mindfulness is one of the very important, Dhamma explained here. And the next one, Suchikammas. This is very important thing. Before you do something, you have to think about it. Right? And then you have to practice the good actions. Yes? Good mental action and the good physical action, and also verbal actions. Right? So here, Suchikamma means act in a proper way, nice way, and a useful way, meaningful way rightful way, and there are so many other ways that you can talk about in a beneficial way, right? So this is a very important thing. Our actions actually, or we can say that our outward conduct, our inward conduct, or our mind, cannot be read by the others. And the people come to, they think that, or they, judge about us based on our outward conduct, the way you behave, the way you act, the way you, deal with the others. So here, outward conduct, actually it reflects one's inward conduct at the same time. Because in Buddhism we say that cetayitva kammang karotani, after we think and then we act. And also in other places it explained that one's outward conduct must be very useful for himself and the others. So because of that, we have to pay more attention on all our actions, and which are beneficial and which are not beneficial. Actually, the next quality here is also connected with something related to it. But it explained as discerning, nisammakareno. You have to reflect on something before you do. Think again and again whether this will be useful or not useful. What kind of result will bring if you or if I do this and that? And what kind of benefit is there if I, do this and that? So the Buddha always taught us, actually this self-reflection is a very important thing. Yes, self-reflection. So if you know what you are and who you are, what you are going to do, definitely there won't be any problems. Since we are not known to our thoughts properly, and then we are somewhere there. It's not where the place that we should stay, or what the place where we should be. Right? So the important thing is here, look into ourselves and look into the things before you do the things. And then otherwise, even here in Dhammapada, there is another stanza. In another section, it says that whatever actions, you do, you have to be very careful. And if any action, after doing any action, if it brings a bad result, which make you suffer or which make you to cry, right? You should never do such things. And whatever action, after doing whatever actions brings, happiness or any kind of good benefits, and which can bring a smile to your face, and that if you can be happy after, thinking about it, and then such actions you should do. So that is what it explains. And there are so many, the examples from the society we can take, a lot of examples. But this is not the time to, talk about all those things. So the very important thing here is look into yourself and then think about before you act. Right? Think about or think over anything before you put it into practice. And then you may not, have to suffer or regret over the actions that you do. Yeah? For instance, King Asoka, he did a lot of bad things, killing so many people, innocent people. And after doing that, he suffered a lot. Yeah? And so finally, he understood what he did. But it was quite late. However, it was very beneficial for him and for us, for many people in the world. And today we are having Buddhism also as a great service of him. Yeah. So, one day you may understand, but don't be late until that moment comes. The most important thing is look into the things before you do. And then this discerning is extremely important for all of us. And there are many people around us. It's not only you, our parents, our friends, our family members, our relatives, So many people are around you. And it is not only you that you are living here. And we have various relationships to our family, like that. So all these actions that we are going to do will affect the others as well, not only for yourself. Next one, Suchikammasa Nisammakarino Sanyatasata. This is very important. We are always talking about this. Why we have sila? In order to train our senses. Why we practice sila? Right? In order to have this self-restrainment. So it is explained here. Self-restrainment is a wonderful thing here, and it will bring great benefits for all of us. Yeah, it's not only for yourself. And you must be self-restrained at the same time. You must teach the others as well, and it can bring great benefit for others. But there are people. They may not practice it in the same, but they may advise the others to do. That's not good. They may know a lot of Dhamma. They can give very beautiful stories, beautiful teaching, and they speak, nicely and all that. But inside, the inward conduct is not good. Right? So, Sila brings us a great, benefit. The restrainment of these senses, because we should not be the slaves of these senses. We are living here, we do everything in this world because of these 6 senses. Can you think about another world or another thing or any other thing except the experience of these 6 senses? There is no. Whatever do you think, whatever you do, whatever way that you are living, or whatever thing is connected with your life, all about these 6 senses. Yeah? Whatever knowledge this you have, all based on these 6 senses. Nothing else. So these 6 senses are extremely important. Because normally, in the Western philosophy and all the, some other philosophies, they may talk about only 5 senses. But in Buddhism, we talk about 6 senses, including the mind. We have 5 these faculties, 5 faculties plus the mind, then 6. So nothing is there apart from these 6 senses. So if you can train these 6 senses, and there is no problem at all. Right? So, not only, advising others or whatever, the best thing is to train all these 6 senses. And today you think about this, yeah, of course. Beside these six senses, nothing is there. How you perceive the world, the external world, through your eye, and then through your ear, right? And through your tongue, nose, and also through your body. There is no any phenomena in this conditioned world which is not connected with these six. Right? Yeah, nothing is there. So everything is because of this. So what the Buddha taught is that we have to be like, very exemplary character. In the later time, in the Buddhist logic, there's a very good example. Be like a lamp. You know lamp? The light. If you light up a candle or a lamp, it can illuminate its surrounding, right? While illuminating itself. Understand? Yeah. So you have to be like that. Not only that you advise others or teach others, at the same time you have to illuminate yourself. You have to be a good person in the same way that the candle can illuminate itself. Right? But there are people who always think about the others' well conduct or good conduct, but they don't be like an example, or they don't behave well. They don't have well restrained senses, right? And they advise all the others. It's something like that. They can cut, the knife can cut anything. Oh yes, at least many things. A knife, the blade. But it cannot cut itself. Can a blade, a knife can cut itself? Never. It can cut everything, but it cannot cut itself. Yeah? In the same way, some people don't see their own mistakes. And they, and this your fingerprints. You can touch anything, but fingers, the tip itself cannot touch itself. Yeah? If you it never happen, right? So, important thing is actually, the best thing is be like a lamp. Yeah? It can illuminate yourself and the others. Yes? And we have all the examples from Buddhist stories, from the Buddha to all his disciples, and also the people who are following it, and even in the modern day. And not only in Buddhist tradition, in the other traditions as well. Yeah? As Buddhist, actually, we don't say that only the Buddha's teachings are important for us. In Buddhism, we have this kind of very special statement. Whatever said by the Buddha is well said. No argument related to that. No? Whatever said by the Buddha is well said. And we say that whatever well said is said by the Buddha. Right? So for Buddhism, we don't have this problem. If there are any other good teachings in any philosophies or in any religion, we can accept them as good. Yes? As long as we are a strong Buddhist, you can, of course can accept because they are beneficial. But there are some people, they don't think in that way. Yes? They attach to certain beliefs or the things and all that, and they hate the others. But for Buddhism, we are free, and you are wise. That's why we say wise people, wise followers. So you can have such kind of broad view within you. So anyway, this self-restrainment is a very important thing. And then the last one is called appamatasana, being heedful. Actually, this heedfulness, and always we talk about it. Yeah? Without that, you cannot do anything. And if you are heedful, if you are very, very vigilant, definitely, yes, you can go to the goals that you expect. And in the last words of the Buddha, also that. Yeah? Appamadena sampadeta. He said, as his final word, monks, everything subject to change. Yeah? And everything, having this, subject to suffering. Or everything subject to no-self. That means there is no self. Yeah? So, that's the nature of the all transient things. So what you have to do, the Buddha's last word is appamadena sampadeta. Work with diligence. That is his last word for the monks. Yeah? So the heedfulness is the most important thing for all of us. So there is a story related to this, but we have very little time. And there was one family in the time of the Buddha. It's a millennia family. And because there was a heavy plague, a kind of outbreak. And then many people faced difficulties and a lot of people died, and even the parents of that family, millennia family, husband and wife, and they also, affected by this outbreak. Then the parents talked to son. Oh dear son, you are the only one who is safe now. The best thing is go away from this area, that city. And then the parents advised him that we have a lot of, the treasure. We hide them in the ground, this place and that place, and like that. One day, when this problem is over, when you can come back, and then you can collect those things, because the others do not know. And however, then the parents die, and then this boy was, away, and he was there for many years. After 20 years, he came back. He came to the city, and then he thought that if I do not act wisely at this moment, if I take my treasure out of the soil, I will be in a big trouble, because now the people in this area don't know about me. And then he thought that I will take them in the course of time. And then he said that for my living, I must find a job. And then he found a job. Actually, he became the person who call a boy in the early morning. He can call the people, like ring a bell, and then talk to the people in the in that area and ask them to wake up in the morning. And because in the past there were no alarm and all that things, and people, yeah. So somebody will announce them. It's a kind of accepted job. So in the morning he ring a bell and he shout, yeah, now it's 6 o'clock, wake up, and you can do these things like that. So he did this job. And then one day the King Bimbisara, he heard his voice, this man's voice. And then he understood that this man would be a very rich person, because his voice is very deep, because this king had learned something about the people's voice. Yeah? And then he thought that he must be a rich person. How can I find it? And then when the king expressed this, and then one lady, a maid who worked there, and then she listened to it, and then finally she sent somebody to check about this boy. And then, he said that, no, he is a very poor person just working there. And king again and again said that, no, he must be a rich person. And then one day, this lady herself and her daughter, and they went to that place where this boy is living. And they said that they are the travelers coming from faraway place, and they want to stay several days at that place. And this boy, he said, okay. And it's a long story. However, one day, because of some special ceremony organized by the kingdom, and they must give some money for the government to, to take this ceremony, so to hold this ceremony. And then this boy, he didn't have much money. And then he thought, it's a time to take some from, And he took some money and gave to that lady. And then this lady knew that he took it from somewhere. And then secretly she sent the message to the king, and the king also asked this man to go to the, palace. And then he said that, from where you get that money? Don't worry, I don't punish you or don't do anything. You can tell us the truth. And then he explained the whole story. And then, however, yes, then the king was very happy about this boy's patience and also his, knowledge, at the presence and so how he act, without being hurried. And also thinking about the consequences would happen if he take the money by himself and all that. And then king gave his daughter also to the son, and then he appointed him as again the millionaire in this city. And then one day this king took him also to the Buddha and explained the story. And then at that time Buddha explained that, yes, that's the way of the wise people, to act. And not being arrogant, but being humble, and also, being wise. You have to act in that way. Right? And so you can think about it, and then, about this story and how we should work in certain situations. Like that. Now actually it's very, very close to 12 o'clock. So we have to lunch also. But today actually they asked me, probably we will, if possible, we can have a Q&A session. But I don't think that we have enough time for that. Next time if we have, Any questions that you are having? Only for one question or whatever?
Okay, maybe just one question for Bhante, if there is any, from brothers and sisters. Any? Okay, if not, then I think we can end the service this morning and invite Bhante to have the lunch.
Okay.
But before that, if we can pay respect to Bhante first.
Okay. Yeah. Then, today you all together gathered here and did, meritorious deeds, accumulated a lot of merits, and may this merit be with all our departed relatives and ancestors and so on. And may all of them have the spiritual benefits they need for their lives. And finally, may all of them attain the bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu. And also all the divine beings rejoice in this merit, and may they shower upon blessings towards you, your family members, and so on. May all the divine beings also attain the bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu. By the power of this merit, may it be like a light and protection for you, and may all your good wishes and aspirations come true. Finally, may all of you attain the bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu. Okay, thank you, Brother Wilson, and all the other members and devotees here. And yes, now I'm going to bless for all of you. Abhivadana sinis nichang baddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukambalang ayurarogya sampatti sagya sampatti vivacha atho nibbana sampatti minati samijjatu.